Local businesses and e-commerce entrepreneurs, here's how to choose which social media platforms to include in your marketing mix. The first thing you want to think about is the reality that, as we already know, people are resorting to their phone or whichever device, could be tablet, could be desktop computer as well, uh, impulsively, ongoingly, many times throughout the course of the day. The second reality to kind of download and let it sink in is the fact that all the social media platforms, and not just social media, but just about any company or business, has an app. So you want to think about a person resorting to the app multiple times throughout the course of their day. And think about yourself. If you work off of a computer and you have for many years, and you're carrying around a phone, checking your email or looking for directions, ordering food, doing a variety of things, then you know, and you can imagine this when you develop social media content and switch up how you're communicating about your business. Okay, so you can imagine your user kind of, compulsively or impulsively clicking onto an app multiple times every day, because people do have the Facebook app, the Instagram app, the TikTok, the WhatsApp, the all YouTube, and whatever kind of platform, an app for it on the phone, and are resorting to it multiple times every day. And we see this. So that is the basis for what you need to understand. Instead of just kind of like shouting at the public when you're producing social media content and updating your profiles, think about the reality that people are compulsively clicking on apps throughout the course of the day, checking their email, looking at some advertising, reading something, looking at images on whatever their preferred apps are. So this is the touch point, the entryway where you communicate in a way that is relevant about your business to whoever is most likely your target audience in your surrounding area. Okay, with that being said, think about Facebook. Think about Facebook in the same way that you would always think about a newspaper. And looking at a newspaper isn't really something that is being done en masse like it used to. But in the past, you might just pick up a newspaper and just like skim it and just, read it very quickly for a few minutes and just to see what's going on. You might have a favorite and go to something, the sports section, the something or other, advice column or whatever, on a regular basis. There might be one laying around, like if you're in an office somewhere or passing by a particular building, you might pick up a periodical and just read it, just skim it. So think about Facebook in the same way, because Facebook allows a person to post an image and a little bit more copy, a little bit more of a caption surrounding the image regarding whatever it is the person is talking about or promoting. So think of that in the same way as walking by a building, picking up a periodical and looking at an article with an image that shows you what it is and a little bit of, reading that you might do within a few moments time surrounding something. So I'm going to say, for example, if you're a local business, if you're a food business, if you're a restaurant or a food truck or even a ghost kitchen, quite honestly, whatever you do, or if there is something special that you do, some way in which you stand out. Let's say you offer catering. Let's say you offer the best kind of like lunchtime catering with like the crudité and the charcuterie and sandwiches and the best kind of like lunchtime foods that people want, let's say in office buildings nearby. You want to be posting on a regular basis on Facebook about the fact that you provide this. You want to show a visual of what you have and what you do, and you want to explain. And at least 3 times a week, you want to talk about this, post this to your Facebook account. And the reason why is because anyone that's in the local area who is compulsively clicking on the app multiple times a day and just getting updated about businesses, news, entertainment, things that are going on, you are going to circulate you are going to become a part of that person's feed because you're within proximity of each other and because there's something relevant that you do to the person who's clicking on the app and looking at content. If that person is in an office building, if that person is the office manager who places these kinds of orders for all the conferences that are happening in the building, you are going to circulate in that person's feed, right? So think about Facebook the same way you would always think about a newspaper. It's something that a person might compulsively pick up and read, even just momentarily, and the visual helps to get the message across, even if the person doesn't have time to read the full article. So you're going to be saying what you're saying about yourself, about your business, at least 3 times a week using your Facebook account. Okay. The second thing to think about would be Instagram. Now, Instagram supports impulsivity a lot more than Facebook. And by the way, I don't use Twitter, so I'm not going to get to that in this video. If you're looking for Twitter, it's not going to occur here. But secondarily, I'm going to talk about Instagram. Instagram has always been understood for the visuals, the visual appeal of going on to the platform. And you use your Instagram account to tell the story of what your business and what your brand is about. And there's less writing. You do write a caption which will populate underneath the image that you post to the platform, but it's more about the visual, and all the visuals that are on your page should point to what your business, what the person, or what the brand is about. Someone needs to be able to, at a glance, be able to tell what you're about by looking at the visuals. Okay, this is really Instagram, and so it supports impulsivity in a way where a person doesn't even take the time to read. A person really just likes to be stimulated with a lot of visual imagery and get an idea about who you are or what something is by looking at it, scrolling, looking at another account or profile, and getting an idea of what this is about. This is how the interest is, circulated back and forth between the person and the platform. Okay, so you can take images or content from your Facebook account and put that onto your Instagram account, but you're probably going to have some images that are standalone to go on the Instagram account just to drive the message home in terms of what your business is about just by looking at you. So again, if you're a food business, a restaurant or a food truck or whatever, what have you, you're definitely going to have lots of images that are like very delicious looking and that really capture the glisten off of the food. Maybe a couple of shorts, reels, videos of food being prepared where there's sound and a person can get the idea very quickly about how good this is just by listening to it and seeing it for a couple of seconds or 10 seconds or what have you. So there's going to be some content that you'll need to produce that is very visually driven to be featured on your Instagram page, okay? Impulsivity is what Instagram supports, okay? Thirdly, I would say YouTube, because YouTube is so powerful and it allows for long-form video, long-form discussions. That's something that really encourages people also. Yeah, in a special way, I would say, because so much information is made available. So in a special way, it encourages people to leave comments and interact with what you're talking about. It's not the easiest thing to do to produce long form content if you're kind of in a brick and mortar business where you don't have to demonstrate what the product is, or even if you're an e-commerce operator of whatever kind, but you don't have to demonstrate the product. It's a little bit harder to produce long form content to discuss, products that need no explanation. If you are a service provider and if you can talk ad nauseum about whatever your subject matter is, then it is well worth it for you to produce content just displaying, how well you know something, content and information that entertains people or informs people, and then of course inviting people to visit you for assistance with whatever, the services that you provide. Um, Again, if you're a business that has a product, a local business like a brick and mortar business or an e-commerce operator with a line of products, you could use YouTube for thought leadership, for authority on a subject. Definitely, if you travel, if you talk to multiple people in your industry about trends, about changing interests in whatever kind of product you offer, that's one way to enter into YouTube, and it could be worth it. I don't know, you may find your videos to be 10 minutes long or something if you were to go that route. But certainly, if you're a service provider, you're going to want to be on YouTube. And then lastly, I would say, TikTok. Now, TikTok, in full disclosure, is another platform that I don't consult with. It's just so like erratic or has like a frenetic energy to it. So, and it's almost like what I said about YouTube. If you're a local business, unless your product needs some form of demonstration or something, there could be a pivot in there where it's well worth it, especially if you're showing off clothing, showing off cars. Actually, there's a lot of ways to enter into using TikTok. You would just have to be a bit creative and find the touch point where a person is going to get a real impression about what you have when they go on to a TikTok video. Okay, so I don't use TikTok or consult with TikTok in full disclosure. However, I familiarize myself with it just so I know why a person would want to be on there. So this is what I would say. I would say that TikTok supports impulsivity, a person being able to derive a very fast impression through video. So being able to derive a very fast impression, just like you would if you're looking on Instagram, but using actual live action video. And so that, I am sure, is what has made the platform so powerful and has made the content very viral. I'm going to put it this way because I thought about this. TikTok is like, imagine if you're sitting in your living room just like this. And imagine if there is some circus music playing behind you. And imagine if one person after the next walks into the living room and walks across the room in front of you. And the first person does a trick. And they're a fire eater. And they have a stem and they're going to eat the fire and they put it out very quickly and then they walk out of the room. And then the second person walks in and the person has a bunch of knives. And they're going to juggle the knives and toss them up in the air and do this thing. And it's going to be amazing. You're going to be engaged the entire time. And then the third person walks in and the third person has a bowling ball. And they can like spin the bowling ball on their finger for like 30 seconds or more. And multiple circus acts just walk in front of you and can do these entertaining or engaging things. And that's happening all day long. So TikTok is like having a stream of impulse-driven entertainment or engaging content in front of you nonstop. And so that's what makes it so powerful. It supports impulse. It supports a snapshot, like snap judgmentalism of the viewer, where they can get a real impression of something very quickly. And it's not just static images, it's live action video. It combines like the best of YouTube and Instagram in one platform. So I think that is why some people consider TikTok to be a rather risque. Like you can be hooked on that. Okay, if a circus was coming through your living room and playing in front of you all day long, all right, or if it's not, or it's used responsibly, then certainly it has the virality that it does because of the impulse and snap judgment impression giving that comes across through the platform. So, okay, If you are a local business operator or an e-commerce operator and you need to sort out or revisit what social media platforms you might want to use and why, what to include in your marketing mix, and how to map the journey of your customer according to what product you have, and therefore where they're most likely to find you online. Okay, those are 4 platforms to help you get oriented in terms of redoing your marketing mix and your overall funnel. Okay, so I'll do another video about this where I'll include more platforms. There's so much more to talk about. Thought leadership is just as well. It's very huge, just like entertainment is very huge. Thought leadership that can be found on Quora, on Reddit, on LinkedIn, on Medium. There are a multitude of other platforms to consider. I'm probably not going to touch upon Twitter/X. That's my personal preference. I'm not going to. So in any case, but I will do another video revisiting more platforms and how they could be mixed in with the platforms that you already like or that you may want to swap out for something new to have a really effective map in terms of how people find you online. Okay, so this is the Marketing Mind. Thank you for staying with me this long. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, okay? There is a Marketing Mind newsletter where I provide insights about your organic marketing mix overall for local businesses and e-commerce operators especially. I discuss roles and responsibilities in the work that's being performed in this industry and all around this field. I talk about e-commerce businesses, businesses that sometimes go up for sale, and things that are interesting to anyone who's operating business or part of your business online. Okay, so thank you for your comments and your likes. Hit the subscribe button for more content like this. Join the email list, which I will include a link below, and I will see you soon.